Hey, everybody. It is Mike and Chris. Chris, how are things today?
Great. How are you?
Good. Your Commanders beat my Patriots this afternoon.
Yeah. The battle of the below mediocres. I came out on top.
Yes. Yeah.
Or
Yeah. We've talked about this before. The Patriots are not good this year, and the Commanders are a little better than not good.
yeah, I would call the Commanders, just under mediocre, just below average, and the Patriots, I guess, are much less than average.
Yeah. 2-6 now.
Yeah.
The Commanders face the Seahawks next week, I think. So that'll be, on your road to 500.
Well,
Going to be a tough one.
the Patriots. I was a little surprised how few names I knew on their team. Like I know Mac Jones, and I didn't know any of their position players.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster, who
Oh
had
yeah, Mr.
one great catch near the end and then dropped the catch that would have extended it,
Yeah.
or would have won it. I don't remember now. Anyway, yeah, I'm not as big of a fan as I used to be, but I still enjoy watching it. It's possible that I'm a front runner, a fair weather fan,
Yeah.
and I'm not as big of a fan because they're just not that good anymore.
Have you watched a lot of Mac Jones? Like,
He
is
had
he
a
promising?
very good. His rookie year was very good,
Yeah.
and he has made a lot of really stupid mistakes ever since then. Just
Yeah.
bad throws. Yeah, it's puzzling for a guy to
Okay.
have a good rookie year and then go backwards.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first. I think this is the first game I've seen him play, and he was not impressive.
Yeah, and Josh McDaniels, who was just fired by Las Vegas,
Hmm.
was the offensive coordinator during Mac Jones's rookie year.
Okay.
And now that he's fired, people are saying maybe they'll bring him back and he'll fix Mac Jones. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know.
Well, do you know the rumor? I'm sure this is not a rumor around the NFL, but in Washington, there's a rumor because the Washington coach is definitely getting fired at the end of this year, unless they go on some insane run. He's in his fourth year. He has not had a winning season. They just have new management. Clearly, he's going to get fired.
Yeah.
And so the rumor is that they'll chase Bill Belichick.
I'd be surprised if Belichick continues coaching, but somewhere else.
Okay. Do you think he's getting is New England getting tired of him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of anti-Belichick sentiment.
Yeah.
The luster is off Belichick a little bit since Brady left, won a Super Bowl without him,
Yeah.
and then was
Okay.
continued to be successful after that, and then retired. And Belichick has done nothing since Brady left.
Right.
So
Okay.
anyway, we're here to talk Baseball Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
and I have a little trivia for you.
Okay.
We'll save that for the end.
Yeah.
But I also thought this would be fun to just do a little. I'm going to pitch you on moving Dwight Evans into the Hall of Fame, and
Yeah.
you are the decision maker here.
I'm the
If you
decision
agree, Dwight Evans is in the Hall of Fame.
maker.
So no pressure,
Okay.
no pressure.
Yeah. Okay. Pitch me. Sell me.
I mean, first of all, the mustache is perfect, right? That's a
Pretty good.
Hall of Fame mustache.
Pretty good.
It's got to go in.
Yeah.
Uh, So Dwight Evans, it was a right fielder. He was an 8-time Gold Glover, which is pretty good for a right fielder. He has a 67 WAR, and before commenters jump down WAR's throat, WAR is a starting point, right? We can agree it's a great place to look, and you see this guy has 15 career WAR, definitely not a Hall of Famer. Somebody who has 67, you can say, okay, we can start with 67.
We got to
There's a
dig in
possibility.
deeper. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Dave Winfield had a career WAR of 64.
Interesting. Dave Winfield. Okay.
Okay. Dave Winfield, of course, is a Hall of Famer. He won a World Series at the age of 40. Dwight Evans didn't win a World Series, but played in 2 iconic, famous World Series. 75, the Fisk, stay fair home run. And the 86, Buckner through the legs, and they lost because of that.
Sure.
Would Dewey be in the Hall of Fame had they won that 86 World Series? Probably not, because he was never famous enough. And that's a big part of Hall of Fame voting. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Yes.
So why wasn't he famous? He was never outgoing enough. He wasn't like Dave Winfield. I don't know what's the difference between Dave Winfield and Dwight Evans. They're pretty similar players.
No, it's a good comparison. So can I jump in, or is your should
Absolutely.
I continue with your pitch?
There's plenty more, so please jump in.
Okay. Well, one thing I would put against Dwight Evans is he was never the best player on his team, and I don't even know if he was like ever in the top two. Or I mean, you would know better, but definitely when the Red Sox, I remember he was certainly behind like Wade Boggs and Clement. I mean, well, okay, Clemens, I don't know, he's a pitcher obviously, but I'm sure he was behind Yaz early in his career, and there's Fred Lynn, and there's a bunch of studs on those teams.
Jim Rice, late
Carlton
in the
Fisk,
70s.
yeah, Carlton Fisk. I mean, so was he ever like the top? He was never the top player. Was he ever the number two even, or maybe he was the top player? Yeah,
probably not. But they had all those Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Think about the Showtime Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the Celtics of the 80s. They had so many amazing players. Did you have to be the best to get into the Hall of Fame? No, you could have been the third best.
Right. James Worthy and Kevin McHale are in, but basketball is not comparable. Basketball puts everybody. Have you ever looked at the Basketball Hall of Fame? It's like,
yeah, I know.
He was good for like 2 seasons.
Tim Hardaway had a Hall of Fame crossover.
Yeah, I don't know Tim Hardaway. I don't know if Tim Hardaway is a good example, but it's like players like, oh, he was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
or like
yeah. That's a great point. But the Yankees of the 50s.
Yeah.
How many of them went into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, all of them.
And you didn't need to be one of the best on the team to get into the Hall of Fame.
It's fair, but I mean, the Red Sox weren't as good as the Yankees.
No, they were not.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was just one knock against them, but continue your pitch.
This is not going well.
Yeah.
So there's a stat called Jaws, created by Jay Jaffe.
Okay.
Jaws basically it outlines. I'm just trying to think of how to explain this. So career WAR averaged with their 7-year peak WAR.
Right. Yeah.
So he is 16th among right fielders.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Right.
Between Gwynn and Ichiro.
It's pretty good company.
Pretty good company. There are 28 right fielders in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
All above him are in.
Okay.
He's all above him in WAR. He's 14th in WAR among right fielders. Between Gwynn and Betts.
Between Gwynn and Betts. Okay.
Okay. Everybody above him is in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. They're 14. They're 14.
Will clearly get in, assuming not a cliff dive.
Yep. And there are 14 Hall of Famers below him who are right fielders.
Yeah. That's a good pitch. But his 7-year, so looks at their best 7-year stretch, or their best 7 years.
It's their best 7-year stretch.
Okay. Yeah, which would have been late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
7-year peak WAR.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. He hit more home runs than a lot of Hall of Famers, including Baines, who were a big deal, right? But also Larry Walker, Jim Rice, Todd Helton.
Uh-huh. More than Larry Walker?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
He's 29th in walks in his career.
Okay.
More than Tris Speaker, Reggie Jackson, Albert Pujols, Willie McCovey, Alex Rodriguez.
That's pretty good.
Pretty big names there, right?
Yep.
Total bases, he's 71st in career total bases.
Okay.
More than, again, McCovey, Bagwell, Stargell, and Killebrew.
Some major sluggers there.
Yep. And he was hidden behind more famous players on his team. The guys you named, Yaz, Fisk, Rice, Boggs.
Fred Lynn. I don't know. Fred Lynn's not more.
Yeah, Fred Lynn certainly for a few years was a big deal. 75 MVP and Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So, if you look at, let me see, where was I with Dewey? He
Well,
had, go ahead.
oh, no, so I was going to bring up, okay, so the two names, so Dave Winfield and Jim Rice, I think are
Mhm.
reasonable comps. I think he's clearly well behind Winfield, though. Uh, he's sort of just behind in every category, notably, uh, except for WAR. He's actually ahead of him in WAR somehow, but he's behind him in home runs and batting average, RBIs, runs, stolen bases, Gold Gloves, All Stars, all that. Like Winfield to me is clearly ahead of him as an all-time, as wherever he ranks on the all-time list. But I think Evans is clearly ahead of Jim Rice, which surprises me because I started following baseball later when these two players were both late in their career, long past their primes. But I remember thinking Jim Rice was the much better player. But clearly the numbers show that Dwight Evans was a better player than Jim Rice. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. Jim Rice was more feared as a slugger in his peak.
Is okay? Yeah, that's true. Jim Rice. Well, and Jim Rice had like the ridiculous season of '78 when he led the league in everything.
Yeah.
But Dwight Evans led the league in WAR once, also.
Yep,
Uh,
he did.
yeah, but you're right.
And he
Okay. Go ahead.
Dwight Evans, I think, for a time was a good defensive right fielder, which may have been Winfield was one of the all-time great athletes,
Right.
but was he a great right fielder
I think
defensively?
I think Winfield was. I think he had a famous arm, and how many? He got 7 Gold Gloves. Winfield, but Evans had 8. I mean, by the way, that's the next thing. I'm only talking about hitting. If you
Yeah,
include fielding, Evans was clearly way ahead of Jim Rice. Um, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um,
Let's
I
talk
mean,
OPS plus for a second.
let's do it.
127 OPS plus for Dwight Evans,
Yeah.
same as Ricky Henderson, one of the all-time greats, Roger Maris, Don Mattingly. He's ahead of
Well,
Johnny Bench. Well, Johnny Bench is a catcher,
I was gonna say 2 of those 3 guys aren't in, so that's not a good case.
but a lot of people think Mattingly should be in,
Yeah, yeah,
and a lot of people think Roger Maris should be in too.
yeah, yep.
So,
Okay. Who else is he ahead of? That's in.
he is ahead of Roy Campanella. I mean, he's ahead of a bunch of guys that I've never heard of. Charlie Gehringer.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Yeah, those are the big names.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, sure. Well, okay. So, do you have more to pitch, or can I give my answer?
Go ahead. Go ahead with your answer. Tear it down.
Well, so I got to come at it with from two angles. One is
Yeah.
would it be my Hall of Fame if I Chris Sewell was managing the Hall of Fame, and then the second is like if given who's in now, does he deserve to be in? So my Hall of Fame would be quite small, so he would not make my Hall of Fame. But given who's in now, I think he's like a no-brainer. Actually, I think he's an easy Hall of Famer. He's way ahead of Jim Rice, for example, and he's on par. He's not far behind Dave Winfield. 3 All-Star games. That's a little surprising. How did he only make 3 All-Star games?
I suspect because there were so many other great Red Sox players on the team.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah.
And he
Uh,
wasn't, he was kind of a consistent great, not an overwhelmingly amazing all the time kind of player.
yeah,
He led the league in home runs in the strike shortened 81 season.
yeah, yeah. He did. 3-time led the league in. He's got some leading the leagues and stuff scattered throughout. Nothing major, but
Yeah.
just as well, not as good as Jim Rice, I guess, but better than Dave Winfield, if that's important to people. But I mean,
Yeah.
8 Gold Gloves, like to me, when you're getting into like the 10 Gold Gloves range, that's pretty significant. Like, I mean, I guess right fielder is probably the least important fielding position, but it's still very relevant to me.
Still got to have a right fielder.
Like there's not a lot of players with 8 Gold Gloves who were also great hitters not in. I bet there's almost none. I mean, there's definitely players with 8 Gold Gloves not in, but they're going to be like, weak hitting shortstops and stuff. When you have 8 Gold Gloves and you're a borderline hitter, to me you're in. And yeah, based on who else is in, he's clearly deserves to be in my opinion.
Okay. It's in. I'm gonna let the Baseball Hall of Fame know. Chris Sewell.
and by the way, based on who's in, you could argue Jim Rice does not belong in.
Yeah,
Actually, I guess he does, based on who's in.
Yeah, for me, he was borderline when he was getting voted in.
Yeah,
I'm a Red Sox fan.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see him in.
Yeah,
I think that he was great for a short time. Definitely feared, like I said, but I was a little surprised that he got in.
Yeah. Did he make it like easily, or what was his situation?
No, it was pretty long into the voting.
But he made it in the voting. He wasn't like a era committee guy.
Yep, inducted as a player, voted. That was 2009.
Oh, then he probably was an era guy.
No, it was voted by the BBWAA.
Oh, in his 15th season, in his last season.
Yeah,
is that true? Right. Is that right?
It's got to be close.
It is. Yeah.
Back when they went.
Yeah,
back when
in his 15th season, he just sneaked in 76%. Interesting. Yeah. So he crawled up from 29% in his first year all the way up to 76, just barely making it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember when Evans is eligible.
Well, I was going to say, what happened with Evans? Did Evans, where's his Hall of Fame situation? Was he like off the ballot immediately? He was off the ballot in his third year. Yeah, come on, look at that. 6%, 10%, and 4%, and he's off the ballot. That is bizarre.
I think because back then they were very focused on batting average and RBIs.
Okay, and his average is not great.
His batting average is 272.
He's got RBIs.
He had a lot for his career, but he only had 4 seasons with 100 or more.
Yeah,
he wasn't a big RBI guy.
You know, us only had 400 RBI seasons. Mickey Mantle.
No.
Ooh, I shouldn't have said that without checking. Pretty sure. Double check it. Confirm my claim on that one.
That he only had. You're right, 4.
That's right. Okay, 4. Yeah, there you go.
Where did he bat in the order?
I know, isn't that amazing? Like you would have thought Mantle had like 13.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
there's got to be an easy way to tell where Mantle batted in the order the most, right?
Here on Baseball Reference. He had to have batted third or fourth.
Wow, that blew my mind.
Yeah, like if I had asked you before, how many times did Mantle get to 100 RBIs? What would you have guessed? Like 12, right?
10 plus, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt 10 or more.
Right. I don't know. I don't actually know how to explain that. He got 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He got 95 other times. But
still,
that's
very surprising. Yeah, I mean, Evans walked a lot, which wasn't a popular thing back then.
Right. Nobody cared. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, 67 WAR. Like, how many people are not in with 67 WAR? It can't be. It can't be a lot.
I have that number here somewhere.
Players with 67 WAR who are not in and are not pitchers: Craig Nettles, Kenny Lofton.
Kenny Lofton with 69 WAR, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. So that's 2. It's going to be like 5. Bobby Grich, 3.
Excluding
Lou Whitaker, 4, and Bill Dolan, 5. There's 5 guys. 5 non-pitchers with at least. There's only 5 non-pitchers with more WAR than him not in. I believe, yeah.
Lou Whitaker should be.
And Lou Whitaker's going to get in the next time they have he's on the era committee, I think. Well, and not counting like Paul Marrow and stuff. Bobby Grich is a weird one. I don't know how Bobby Grich has 71 WAR.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, interesting. All right, we solved it. Dwight Evans.
Okay,
He's in.
we've fixed everything in the world here in 20 minutes. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
we killed it.
I was thinking about arguing for Louis Tiant,
Louis
but
Tiant. Interesting. Okay.
I went with Dewey instead.
Wait, can I test something on you? This is something
Of course.
I want to do, but I want to do on my probably in the next episode, but in more detail. Um, so I figured I could test you on it here and see if it's and adjust it so it'll be better for the next episode if that's all right.
Great.
So the when I think of like a Hall of Famer, I think one problem a lot of people do is they just focus in on one thing, and you did a good job of like, no, we need to look at a lot of different things, right? Oh, their WAR is this, or this many home runs, and that's all they think of. But I think there's three different ways to think of it. Their career totals, their peak, right, which is kind of what you touched on, and the third is like their contribution to the story of baseball. That's how I would describe it.
Yep.
So I want to just test you by I'm gonna give you some numbers of a player. You're not going to know who the player is, and based on just what I tell you, do you believe they belong in the Hall of Fame or not?
Love
Okay.
it. Let's do it.
And so I'm first going to touch on career, one example of just career numbers, and then one example of a peak.
Sure.
And then I don't have the contribution of the story of baseball category defined well enough yet, but I hope to for next time in 2 weeks. All right. So this player. So I'm only going to talk about their career numbers. You know nothing else. You know nothing about their peak. You know nothing about their contribution to the story of baseball. You only know their career numbers, and I'm telling you them here. And you have to tell me based on this alone, are they a Hall of Famer or not? This is a primarily outfielder who played in the 1960s mainly, 60s and 70s, we'll say. Career WAR of 50, 2,300 hits, 379 home runs, a career batting average of 297, and 1,300 RBIs. Do you want me to say any of those again? And there's no other really relevant career number.
I'm gonna say that they. And is there any like how many World Series they won?
Oh, good question. Should that be included? I guess it should be. Oh yeah, let me give you a little more. Great. One World Series championship, one MVP, and 11-time All-Star, 0 Gold Gloves. All right, you want me to read all those numbers back again, or you think you got it?
No, I think I've got it. I'm gonna say that they are in, and that it took a long time to get voted in. I can't figure out who it is.
Okay, well, no, the goal is not to figure out who it is. But although
Okay.
that is, I guess, a good goal as well.
So
The goal is to. So you think not are they in or not? Should they be in Mike's Hall of Fame? Or yeah,
ooh, should they be in my Hall of Fame?
or I don't know, or maybe two ways to ask it. Do you think they're in based on what you know of the Hall of Fame, and would they be in your Hall of Fame?
It's really tough to tell without knowing
Yeah,
the more of the story.
right. This is all you get, though.
Ooh. I mean, I think I know who this is.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I
interesting.
think so.
Okay.
Is it Cepeda?
Oh my God, how'd you know that?
Just
Well, the whole
going
thing's ruined now.
just going through trying to figure out who played during that time in the outfield, had a
Yeah,
kind of middling Hall of Fame career, but is believed to be a solid Hall of Famer.
yeah,
Does that ruin it, really?
yeah. Because you're not supposed to know anything about them. You're supposed to like say, all I have are these numbers. Well, so this is good. I'm learning, so I can figure out how to tweak it for next time. You're supposed to say, all I have is these numbers, and I have to say yes or no based on just this. And the reason is because I want each player to be judged in each of these three categories separately: their career numbers, their peak, and then their contribution to the hit story of baseball. Right. So like you would do each of that for each player. Each player would get 3 different yes no answers.
Hmm.
And then more or less, if you get like 2 yeses, you're in, type of thing. I don't know. It's a work in progress.
I like it. I think
Okay.
that's a lot of fun.
Okay. So what would you? So pretend you didn't know it was Cepeda.
Borderline 379 home runs. I don't know how long Cepeda played.
You can't know. You don't get to know.
Right, I know.
Or maybe
I'm
that
gonna.
is you should know. Yeah, no.
Can you tell me his? How many All-Star games did you say?
11.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's in.
Okay, he deserves to be in based on the Hall of Fame today.
Yeah.
And would he make your Hall of Fame if you were designing the Hall of Fame from scratch?
Based on the history of the game, yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good answers. I'm going to give you one more. But this time we're only focusing on the peak. So you know nothing else about their career totals. You know nothing about their contribution to the story of baseball, just their peak, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can give this to you in a good way. So I'm not going to tell you the decade. Maybe that's what gave it away. So they played. I mean, they're not like an old timer. They played since between the 60s and present. So they can't get anything out of that. All right.
You're gonna be mad if I guess this again.
What?
You're gonna be mad if I guess this again?
Yeah, I will. Okay, I'm going to give you some numbers about their 7-year peak. Their 7-year peak. Their 7-year peak included 6 All-Star games. They were in the top 10 in MVP voting 5 times, with a high finish of second. 4 Silver Sluggers, led the league in home runs once, RBIs 3 times, hit about 310 in that 7-year stretch, and averaged about 40 home runs.
It's Albert Bell.
Are you serious? Okay, I gotta. So yeah, this doesn't work. I gotta rethink the whole program.
So, when you said you want to talk about somebody's peak, the
What
first person that came to my mind was Albert Bell because he had
what stat did I give you that possibly gave you that it was Albert Bell?
just when you said you wanted to talk about somebody's 7-year peak, the first person that came to my mind was Albert Bell because he had the most staggering 7-year peak.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was it. And then he had the hip problem, if I remember correctly. He had the Bo Jackson hip problem, right?
Yeah, is that what happened? I don't actually remember the Bo Jackson hip thing. He only played 12 seasons. In the first 2 years, he basically didn't play. He really played 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So, man, whatever.
Albert Bell.
So I have to think of a way to word it because the whole point of it is you have to not know who the player is.
Right.
So I have to figure out a way to give you the stats without allowing you to know the numbers. I'm gonna have to think that through. Okay, well, tell me Albert Bell. Based on just that, would you put does Albert Bell deserve to be in, and would you put him in your own Hall of Fame? 2 separate questions.
Well, so not Albert Bell. This 7-year peak sure seems like a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But I would never put in somebody based solely on a 7-year peak unless they retired after 10 years. So the minimum amount of time eligible.
Yeah.
And they did more than hit a bunch. They would have needed to play well in the playoffs and won at least one World Series. So kind of a not quite Koufax, because Koufax is a clear-cut Hall of Famer, one of the all-time greats, but somebody like a short career Schilling.
Mm-hmm.
But even Schilling was amazing in his regular season and then just took it up a notch in the playoffs. But Albert Bell was just unstoppable for 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
He was Jim Rice on steroids, maybe quite
literally. Jim Rice on steroids, and he got absolutely no Hall of Fame consideration.
Nor should he have.
7% in his first year, 4% his second year out.
Yeah, he was a colossal jerk.
He shouldn't. You don't think he should? I think he should have gotten some. No, I mean he wouldn't go in, but he should have gotten more than 7%.
Yeah, sure. But he wasn't going to get in the first place. And he was competing, I'm assuming, against a bunch of other, I don't remember who he was competing with in his first couple of years, but I assume there were other valid
That was a stacked.
candidates.
That was a stacked era. Yeah.
And that was
he-
back when you could only vote for 10 guys.
Was Bell steroids? He wasn't a steroids guy, was he? Or he
I
wasn't busted?
Probably. I don't think he was ever busted for it because he retired before that happened.
Yeah.
But you got to think he was on steroids.
Well, who wasn't?
Exactly. It's not a. I know
Yeah.
this always creates a stir in the comments.
Yeah. Okay. No. I don't. 50 doubles, 50 home runs in one season. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
400 total bases at least once.
Well, that didn't work at all.
Sorry.
So just to like state the point is, like, I want someone to like judge just on the numbers, those each category, and then but you have to like isolate it, which I don't know if is a good idea or not. Like, I know what you're saying, like a 7-year peak, but that's what you're going to get on every person I would give you. Like, this is their 7-year peak. That's all you know.
Yeah.
And then would they be in or not? But maybe that's not a good way to do it. But like I said,
I like it.
Work in progress. And see, it's like my dream project is to like design the perfect Hall of Fame rule. Like, are you a Hall of Famer or not? But so yeah, it's working on it. But I also think like a tiered system, like we've talked about in the past, would help a lot. Like Albert Bell can be on the lowest tier, but and so can players like Dwight Gooden or players who are relevant but didn't have the numbers to back it up. Fernando Valenzuela, and players you don't want to forget about. But then the tier system is where you get into the true Hall of Famers, or whatever you want to say.
Teddy Higuera.
Teddy Higuera, was he relevant enough?
No.
Okay. Well, he was like, wasn't he like Brewers' best pitcher ever for a while?
Was he?
Or at one point, maybe it was, I don't. Oh, maybe not. No, yeah.
I don't remember anything about him. I always liked his name. He had a 30 WAR in like 7 seasons. That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, yeah, he was. I actually remember him being better than, now that I'm looking at his stats. They're not very good.
Finished second in the Cy Young in his second year.
Yeah, true.
I have some trivia for you.
All right, I'm ready. Is it Hall of Fame trivia?
It is Hall of Fame and baseball cards. And it piggybacks on. Yeah, you might want some. I don't know.
Okay.
While you get some, I'm gonna count how many I have.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
By the way, off topic, a commenter today said that I am what's wrong with the hobby. So,
in what way?
Oh, in any way. He just said because I shared a subscriber story about the PSA Vault thing that happened last week. I don't know if you watched that.
I did watch that. Yeah. What was wrong with that?
Nothing. But this commenter said that I am what's wrong with the hobby. So I'm pretty proud of that today.
Well, I mean, in what context?
None. There was no context.
You're just what's wrong with that. Yeah. Okay. Well, they're right.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
So, of guys who are actually in the Hall of Fame, piggybacking off of your trivia of me 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
There are 16 who had their rookie cards in the 1990s.
Oh, that's going to be harder than it sounds. Okay.
So 16 of them. I think you had 18 in the 80s.
Yeah.
So there's a little smaller number. Name those 16 guys. I'm going to give you 3 minutes.
Okay.
To name 16 guys and the year of their generally accepted hobby rookie. And it gets a little bit harder in the 90s, right?
Yeah, the 90s are tricky, right? Okay. Yeah, tell me when I can. Oh, that's going to be a fun one. All right, tell me when I can start.
All right,
go. All right, Frank Thomas, 1990.
Yep.
Larry Walker, 1990.
Yep.
There's no one else from 90. Pedro Martinez, 91.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a lot in 91. Jeff Bagwell, 91.
Yep.
Ivan Rodriguez, 91.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Mussina, 91.
Yep.
There's another one. Jim Tomei, 91.
Very good.
There's another one. I know there's another one. Bagwell Rodriguez. Chipper Jones, 91.
There you go. You crossed off 90 and 91.
Oh, did I? That's all. Okay.
Yep.
92 is Piazza.
Mm-hmm.
Mariano Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. 93 is Derek Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Helton's not in yet. 94 is nobody unless you count Michael Jordan.
Nobody.
95 is Scott Rowland.
Mm-hmm.
Vladimir Guerrero.
You get about 45 seconds.
96. 96, nobody. 97 is Roy Halladay. Oh, look at that pull. Roy Halladay. 90. How many do I have? 90. Oh, I forgot Trevor Hoffman. Trevor Hoffman from 92.
Very good. You've got 15 out of 16.
Oh, really? Oh,
yep.
Nailed it. Roland. Okay, 98 and 99. There's got to be someone. Cabrera is not. Is it 98 or 99? Can I ask that? It's not 98. There's nobody from 98 and 99?
No. 10 seconds.
96. It's got to be 96 or 97. Oh, it's 97. Tejada is not. No, come on. Oh, Beltray.
Beltray's not in yet. Red Sox.
Red Sox.
His card is with the Twins, though.
Oh, David Ortiz, yeah.
David Ortiz. 15 out of 16.
Oh, man, I almost had it.
That's
I'm actually surprised I did that good.
See, I find 92 to be the easiest.
92?
Well, there's only 3 of them, but you've got the 92 Bowman. Maybe because I love 92 Bowman.
Yeah, it's a good set. And there's a lot of important like second year guys, Pedro and Chipper, etc.
Yeah, and if you're a Red Sox fan, you've got Derek Lowe and Manny Ramirez in there.
Right. And Manny Ramirez.
You got those prospects wearing very 92 outfits.
Cliff Floyd is like dunking a baseball in in like street clothes. Actually, everyone's in like street clothes for some reason. Who's got the surfboard? Wait, or is that that's a different set. Mariano Rivera is like in street clothes, just like chilling against a wall, right?
All the prospects are. Derek Lowe has a braided brown belt that he's wearing and a collared shirt, striped. It's just the perfect cards for the era.
I know, it's very strange.
Time capsule of 1992 outfits.
Yeah. Bowman did that a lot of those years.
Yeah. It's fun. You did great. 15 out of 16.
David Ortiz. I always forget him because he's actually on the Twins in that card. And the 97s cards?
Okay. Yeah, there are a couple of 97 cards. But his name, what was his name on those cards?
Arias or Arias.
Yeah.
It is what's the story of that? I don't even know.
Because in the Dominican and other Latino communities, and I'm probably going to get this wrong and somebody's going to say so.
You're what's wrong with the hobby, dude.
That's right. Your last name is your mother's maiden name and your father's last name, so it's hyphenated.
Okay.
And his is like David Americo Arias Ortiz.
Okay.
And the people at Topps or Fleer, I guess, just didn't know how to read his name.
Okay.
Or maybe it's Ortiz Arias. I don't remember now. But so they put him as David Arias. And
I wonder why he was in all the Fleer sets and not Bowman. That's totally unique for the 90s. Everyone else here is a Bowman rookie, I believe. That's right. Every other player has a Bowman rookie, except David Ortiz. And it's not just Hall of Famers. I bet you if you did any sort of notable player in the 90s, Adrian Beltre and like Manny Ramirez and Alex Rodriguez didn't actually either. He wasn't in the top sets.
Yeah. Well, this was fun, Chris. Any final thoughts?
That's all I got for you.
I'm looking forward to being stumped by some 7-year peaks and potential Hall of Famers next week.
I'm impressed that you pulled both those players just from some numbers I gave you, because they're not like they're obviously big names, but they weren't like super obvious, especially Albert Bell. I mean,
I was just
you get a 60-year window there.
I loved Albert Bell,
Yeah.
and I was a huge Cleveland fan
Yeah.
in those, early to mid 90s Cleveland teams. They were just stacked.
Yeah, they were.
And I thought Albert Bell was one of those guys that, even though he was a big jerk, I loved watching him play.
Yeah, well, he came to play for Baltimore for a couple seasons. He was good.
And he played for the White Sox too, I think.
Yeah, I think teams didn't really like having him. They kept kicking him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for playing along and agreeing to put in Dwight Evans.
Yeah, man.
I've typed up the letter to send off to Major League Baseball.
I'm sure that'll go a long way.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Yep. Bye.